ba ba bum 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 ba bum bum ba 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 ba bum. Hello everybody and welcome. Welcome to another Monday mini medicine card readings. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. And I will be doing the aforementioned readings. Hey Sylvia, I got you. So if you are new here, the way this all works is if you would like a one card reading with the medicine card deck working with the totem animals, all you need to do is say yes in the comments. And the first 5 people to say yes and get a one card reading. And then at the end, after those 5 are done, I do another reading where if you were to come to me and to get a reading from me. Oh, hey, is that you, Renee? Awesome. If you were to come to me for a reading, I do a card spread that's 5 cards. And so, hi, Tiffany. Merry Christmas. Thank you. And so those 5 cards, those 5 initial cards, I thought that was you, Renee. Thank you. Those first 5 cards that we pull from the individuals will form a 5 card spread for the community, which is beautiful because I love pointing out how interdependent we are, right? Our well-being feeds the well-being of everyone else. Everything that we're going through affects everyone else in the world, right? So that's how we do it. Welcome if you are new here. Please, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. all of that promo stuff, please share this video, like my video, all that kind of thing. That helps me out. I guess that helps other people find me, which helps me to spread my word, spread my voice, and the more the merrier, right? The more people we can help, the more better off we are individual. When we all do better, we all do better, right? So, and just to get all these little promo things out of the way at first, if you would like to, this is totally free. This is a gift from me, from my heart to you. But that being said, if you would like to support your friendly neighborhood shaman, or if you get a really good message or you're moved in such a way that you wish to reciprocate in a different way, I have my Venmo link in the description. And anything you wish to give to support me, this is my day job. This is how I make my living. So anything that you donate goes straight to me to help support me in my work. And got my little tree behind me. Oh, I just put up 2. I've got my stocking and Kira's stocking. So anyway, so gosh, talk about a tangent. Anything you wish to give is so filled with gratitude. I'm so filled with gratitude with anything anyone wishes to give. Hey, Sylvia, I thought you already said yes. Yeah, awesome. So I think that's it with all the precursor stuff. So why don't we get to the readings? Huh? So I've got my virtual fire going in my virtual fireplace, which is my television set. A little bit of Christmas jazz in the background. Happy solstice, everyone. I almost forgot to say that. Holy crap. Happy solstice, Charlie Brown. Doesn't anyone know the meaning of solstice? All right, so first card number 1 is for Sivia. I feel like I got warmed up because I did a reading for a friend just a few minutes ago, so. Okay, 2 cards came out. So Sivia. So card number 1 is 2 cards. Owl in reverse and turtle in reverse. Owl between those two, the message I am getting is how do I put this into words? I get this sensation, I get this kind of like imagery and stuff. It is time for silence. You know, owl is the only bird who is totally silent in her flight. And in this context, I think it's not so much necessarily silencing the voice as much as silencing the mind. Like I said before, one of the messages, like when I graduated from, oh, Sivia, you were responding to me? Just a little tiny delay. That's all right. When I graduated from Sandra Ingerman's shamanic training, her main spirit guide is Isis, the goddess Isis, the Egyptian goddess. Isis, Isis, rah, rah, rah. And her message to me was that my confusion is just a distraction and to step into my power. And I think that's kind of the message here between both owl and turtle in reverse. It's like a need to silence the mind, silence the confusion, and trust. You know, owl medicine is about that seeing with the heart, seeing through the darkness, through the smoke and mirrors, to the heart of the matter, which is why she was the totem, or is the totem, of Athena, the goddess of justice, because she cannot be deceived, because with the eyes of owl, she can see through any smoke and mirrors, any subterfuge, any illusions that anyone is trying to kick up in the way of truth. And she can see right through that to the truth of the matter. And so with Owl in reverse, it's kind of an indicator that there needs to be a little more silence, or like maybe a little less paying attention to the thoughts and the whirlwind of thoughts. And like Turtle, it's like sink down, sink into yourself. Turtle is about foundation, about grounding, about Mother Earth. And so in reverse, it's kind of a feeling, can feel kind of like the turtle on its back that's kind of rolling back and forth but can't right itself, or even floating on its back in the water where it can't turn itself back over. So it's just kind of like this floundering back and forth, not making any progress. And the key to that, number one, it reminds me of a video I saw. I don't know where I saw it, but there was this video of a turtle that was on its back in the water and flopping around trying to right itself. And all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, all these other turtles appeared. And they came up from underneath and lifted this turtle up so that he could right himself again. And so, number one, there's this trusting that no one is left behind, that the universe sees you, the universe responds to you, and the universe will always help you right yourself. And when those storms come up, when the waves, when there's white caps on the waves, and the water is choppy and the wind is blowing, Turtle doesn't waste her time on the surface. She drops to a level under the water where there's silence, where there is stillness, and she stays there until the storm abates, and then she rises back up. So, in other words, you don't need to fight the storm. You don't need to resist the storm. You don't need to resist the forces of nature that are pummeling you. That the safest place is within yourself. And we've talked about that before, about, some people ground to the earth and other people ground into themselves, into that center, that still center in the middle that is a part, it's like that's your essential self, right? That is the part of you that intersects with Creator, with divinity. Hi, Wonder! Yay! Wonder Woman has joined us. Woohoo! Good to see you. Anyway, so you also, with Owl, it's like you don't have to announce to the world what you are doing. Oh, thank you, Wonder. Same back to you, beautiful soul. Oh, hey, Angel. Hi. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Yay, everybody's here. I still have a couple spots left if anyone still wants one card reading. Although the first official card is officially 2 cards, because that's what came out of the deck. But anyway, so Sivia, in other words, it's like, keep your own counsel. It's enough to rest within your own purpose. And you don't have to announce it. Yes, ground in wisdom. In other words, trust your wisdom. Trust, everything that has ever happened to you, every lesson, every tribulation, every triumph has added to who you are right now. So every experience has resulted in pearls of wisdom. That's what you can ground in. You can trust your experience to give you the answers you need right now. And you can trust your experience, just the fact that you've come through every single experience to this point, to know that there is always a completely harmonious solution. You are always taken care of. And that it all comes down to the fact of your wholeness. Um, wisdom of wonder, like blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Wonder. Wonder, Wonder is one of my former students and one of my best students, if I can say that out loud. And she's just thanking me for trusting my own wisdom because it helped her find hers. That made it all worthwhile. Seriously. Thank you. So Sylvia, what turtle in reverse is kind of like looking for the things outside of yourself to find your rightness, to find your validity and all that kind of thing, when you are already complete. You already carry your wholeness with you. You carry your divinity with you. You carry your sacredness with you. It's already there. And so the wisdom that you're grounding into is you, right? Turtle is always home. She's always complete and she is always protected, which means she can go anywhere. She can go anywhere on land. She can go anywhere in the water because she's always home. She's always present. And so trust that wisdom and rather than expending all this energy outward, trying to figure things out or trying to respond or react to other things. Hello, Valerie Starseed from Ireland. Wow, awesome. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. I am 51% Irish, I found out. So, welcome. It's good to see you. So again, it's kind of like that quote from Mother Teresa that I love so much, about, it goes on for a while, but it's basically, if you're kind, people will think you have an ulterior motive. Be kind anyway, right? Awesome. Yes, it resonate with you. I'm so glad. Learning to connect to source more all the time. Yes, that's exactly it. Like Mother Teresa said with that, like, be kind anyway, right? Um, and it goes on. There's like a whole list of different things like that. It's like, be kind anyway, be strong anyway, whatever the different things are. And at the end, it's like, because it never was between you and someone else. It was always between you and God. So, Oh, thank you, Valerie Starseed. I look like your father in his younger years. Awesome. I will take that. Thank you. Um, so, basic message, Sylvia, trust your sight, trust your intuition. You have spent so much, blood, sweat, and tears to get where you are now. And it's trusting the wisdom that is the result of all of that. And trust that you are enough, that you are already whole. That, all of shamanic healing is based on the fact that no matter who, like from my standpoint, when someone comes to me for healing, it's like, yes, I notice the discomfort or the illness or whatever it is, but then I recognize the illusionary, not to invalidate it, right? But I look past that to the wholeness underneath. And my job as a healer is not to heal someone else, to fix something that's broken. It's to help the other person remember their wholeness that is already there. So remember your wholeness. Remember that you are enough, that you're already whole. No matter what it looks like or feels like, you are always whole. All right? Awesome. All right, card number 2 is for Renee. Thank you, Angel. I'm so glad you're here. So if anyone's come in late, I still have 2 spots left for a 1-card reading. And if you don't feel like, and so all you need to do that is to say yes in the comments. And, or if you want to just just watch from the sidelines. Okay, Valerie, I got you. You can always just either listen to all the cards and pay attention and notice what resonates with you, or you can choose a number. Estrius, hi. Okay, and that is our 5. Let's see. Oh, I need to make a little chart so I can do the final reading at the end. Although we're going to have an extra card, so I'm not sure what what we're going to do with that, but we will find out. Awesome. Thank you, you guys. All right, card number 2 for Renee. And so if you are not one of the first 5, feel free to choose a number between 1 and 5. And we just did 1, so we're on number 2. So you can choose between 2 and 5, and just pay attention to that particular card, what the message is. So I promise, even if it wasn't aimed directly at you, the universe has this amazing, amazing way of interweaving messages. So even though your name may not be the one listed for that card, your message will be included in that. That's just the way it works. All right. So card number 2 for Renee. All right. Renee, you got pronghorn, antelope. Antelope is always an interesting one because the main aspect of antelope medicine is sacrifice. And I know I used to like it when I would hear that word, or, that kind of thing. I'd be like, hackles up, right? What do I have to give up now? Are you kidding me? Um, but the sacrifice that Antelope speaks of is not giving up the best of you, not giving up what is essential to you, not doing the martyr thing like, okay, go ahead, you know, I'll be okay, don't worry about me, right? Um, Whoops, I have to sacrifice my dreams so that this other person can have their dreams. And the thing is, life is not pie. There is enough for everybody. Just because you're eating your fill of pie doesn't mean there's less pie for other people. When we all do better, we all do better. There is enough for everybody. In fact, the best thing you can do for the world at large, for your community, etc., is be the best that you possibly can be. You know, keep like focus on your own well-being, because that's what ripples outward to everyone around. And when you, like I mentioned earlier, when you remember your wholeness, you have more to offer others, right? So Antelope is about sacrifice. But, you know, the thing is, so with him coming up right side up, upright, my leaning is to toward the fact that you've already done the work. You've already sacrificed what you've needed to sacrifice, and it is now time for you to celebrate, to claim the prize, whatever that might be, right? Because the sacrifice that's asked for with Antelope is to give up those things that are not essential to you. Rather than giving up the things that are essential to you, it's about giving up all the different, it could be thought processes, beliefs. Bless you too, Jesus Christ, Son of Man. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I just lost my train of thought. So giving up thoughts and beliefs that make you feel small, habits that keep you distracted from your true path, right? And so it's not necessarily things that are harmful and, you know, big and heavy, but like certain things like you know, maybe spending a lot of time on video games or scrolling or binge watching Netflix or whatever it is, things that they're not necessarily harmful. They just they suck up enough of your energy that you can't hit critical mass to move forward. Does that make sense? So it's kind of expending your energy in different ways, as basically like treading water. It's like not moving forward. You're not necessarily going backward, but you're also not becoming who you came here to be. And so that sacrifice is that willingness to let go of those things that, you know, are comfortable, that we kind of hang on to them for convenience, right? But that's like growing up Catholic. You know, we always had Lent, where, you know, especially as kids, it's like you always gave something up for Lent. It was always something that you loved. And from the Catholic point of view, it was the sacrifice that was the important part. It was the suffering, right? Oh my God, I'm going to give up candy for a whole month. Um, and it was like wallowing in that sacrifice, in that suffering of craving these things, not being able to wait. I can't wait until it's over when I can indulge in that stuff again. When the actual lesson is, oh wow, I gave up candy for a month and I am still here. And look at who I am without that thing or without that action, right? And so it's giving up the things that at one time they may have been helpful, at one time they may have protected you or soothed you and really helped you. But at some point, um, if we're to keep growing, we need to let go of all of those things. It's kind of like dropping the booster rockets off of a rocket ship, right? It's like if you hold on to that extra weight, it's going to drag you down rather than push you forward. And so you have to drop that extra ballast in order to rise to where you're supposed to be. And so, like I said, it's kind of like, and it's the story that goes with antelope is that back when there was a land bridge across the Bering Strait, it was the Ice Age, which is why the land was there, because all the water was up in the glaciers. Um, so the first people that came across into the Americas, they were vegetarian at the time. They were freezing, so everything was frozen. They didn't know what they could eat. They were freezing cold. They didn't know how to take care of themselves. And so Pronghorn saw their plight and realized he could do something about it. And so he, knowing that he was an immortal soul, knowing that he could give his physical being without compromising his spiritual being. In fact, by releasing it in this context helps him to rise to a higher consciousness, so that when he's born back into the herd the following spring, he has a little bit more wisdom, innate wisdom. He may not remember that experience that brought it to him, but he'll start out at a higher level than he did the last time, if that makes sense. And so he jumped in and he said, here, take my flesh for your meat, take my hide for your clothing and for your shelter, use my bones for your tools. And so he gave himself to them because he knew he would go on living, that it wasn't martyrdom in that sense. It was a win-win situation. And if something is not a win-win situation, nobody wins, right? If someone loses, everybody loses. And so this is about like shedding those things, even physical things. I remember back, when I was in college, I was a DJ at our college. And on this alternative rock station that was our college station, I had the lone country western show. And I had enough albums to actually support myself in a weekly radio country western show. And as I graduated from college, began to grow and move around, My record collection continued to wane, get smaller, until at one point back, I guess back in the early 2000s or something, I realized I had a record player and no records. Hi, Kim. Merry Christmas, Kim. Thank you. And you are so welcome. Um, so I had this realization that I had no more records left, but I had a record player, a turntable. And it was like I was clinging to it as part of my identity because I had been a DJ. I had built my teenage years around country music. In fact, I wanted to go, my dream as a teenager was to go to Nashville and become a country singer. Um, and I guess that could plausibly still happen. I don't know. But so that was part of my identity, of having all these albums, of being kind of an expert on country artists and the history of country music and all these things. And all of a sudden, the last vestige of that identity, my turntable, was all I had left. And I was holding on to it because of that. I was like, there was this fear of giving it up because who would I be without it? And then all of a sudden, after I had that thought, I had to sit back and think, oh, who would I be without it? Like, like it's not a negative thing. Like, I can give that up and I will still be here and I'll have that much, I will be expending that much less energy to this identity that no longer fit me, right? I could know, I could still love music. I still love country music, but I am so eclectic. If you could see my YouTube playlist, um, it's like um, opera, Mongolian voice singing, throat singing, country, jazz, big band, um, 80s rock, Elvis, Rick Nelson, um, the gambit. And so by giving up this narrower vestige of who I was as a country music person, it gave me room to expand into wider horizons, wider experiences, and more appreciation for the diversity and just the innate creative propulsion of the human being, of all the different forms of music and the expression of the soul through music, through vibration, etc., etc. If I had held on to that tiny little sliver of an identity, I mean, at one point, I remember in high school, I got a poster that said, if it's not country, if it ain't country, it ain't music. Um, but then I realized at some point, um, this is an interesting tangent, but I realized at one point, because I was so into country music, and then one day when I was at my work at the time, the radio played Lorena McKennitt. And it was like I stopped. And it was like this light bulb went off. It was like something shifted into place. And I recognized it as this is the music that I've been waiting for my entire life. I think it was the hurdy-gurdy and the acoustic instruments, the traditional instruments. And in my upbringing, there really was, well, that kind of music wasn't that readily available at the time. And there wasn't really space in my life for that, to listen to that kind of music. You know, it was either rock station or country station or easy listening. Those were the choices. And so, like, country music was the next best thing that was available to me at that time. So it kind of led me forward toward that music that I had felt in my soul since I was born. And once I discovered that, once I gave up this narrow definition of myself as loving country music and only country music, it made space for what was meant for me to come in. And so, even though something may have been so important to you in your development, in your evolution, um, it's like I always draw the analogy to like lighthouses, right? It's like the lighthouse is not the destination. The lighthouse is to keep you from running up on the rocks. If you set your destination as that lighthouse, you are going to end up on the rocks. But lighthouse is to help draw you forward, so until you like clear this finger of land or whatever to see the other lighthouse over here, and then you adjust your bearings to go in that direction. So at that moment, that one lighthouse is the most important thing in your life. It's the one thing that's keeping you afloat, right? It's that important. But if you continue to focus on that one lighthouse to the exclusion of anything else, you are going to end up on the rocks. That is not your destination. And so that willingness to give up lighthouses that may have been important at one point, but then to keep looking for the next and the next and the next, realizing that they're all part of your journey, they're all equally important. But like that Bruce Lee quote about not mistaking the finger pointing at the moon for the moon itself, right? The lighthouses are helping to point you home. Your home is who you are. Your destination is your divinity, your enlightenment, whatever you want to label it, right? And so everything, like all the different thoughts and beliefs and actions and propensities and stuff are outward expressions of you finding your way home. In fact, even, I'm sitting here, I've got my drum next to me, I've got skulls and wings and rattles and sage and matches and all kinds of things. But those are tools. They do have power in themselves, like crystals, etc. They have their own power, but their power is not essential for you to be who you are. They are just indicators. They are reflecting back. They are a mirror reminding you of that wholeness that is already within you. They are the lighthouses reminding you which way is home. And so you can do without, you don't need anything. You literally can sacrifice everything and still find your way home, because you are the purpose. You are why you're here. you are complete and whole within yourself. And all the things around you are expressions and reflections of who you are. So I'm just realizing how long-winded that was. But I hope that was helpful, Renee. I don't know if I totally explained envelope, but I guess I have to trust, too, the direction it goes. Exactly, Angel. Your Lakota teacher used to say it's not all about the beads and the feathers. Exactly. Oh, you're so welcome, Renee. There's this good book that, well, I guess I can't technically vouch for the whole book because I never finished the entire book. But I read the first part, which was enough to get the gist of it. It's called The Circle Within, and I don't remember the name of the author. But she was a witch living in like deep Texas where, she wasn't allowed, she couldn't have an athame, she couldn't have crystals and all the good stuff. And so she had to find her circle within because that's the only place it really exists, right? So I'll have to look up her name so that I can actually recommend it and give you more information about it. All right, card number 3 for Tiffany. All right, Tiffany, card number 3 is Fox reversed. And just to say this out loud, reversed cards are not bad, okay? A lot of people will get a card reversed, like, oh my God, what did I do? I'm going to hell, whatever. It's like, no. In fact, when I was learning different things, different ways of reading and all those kind of, reading, what word am I looking for? Divination. Yeah, when I was exploring different forms of divination and different things, one of my teachers was like, a good reader could take a whole spread, like if you're doing a tarot reading and you had a whole spread where every single card was reversed, a good card reader will make that the best card reading of your life because there is no negative cards. There is no negative reading. And when a card is in reversed, at least for me, in this context, the reverse card is usually just something that needs more attention, or it's kind of the card that's in play. It's the card that is in transition, or cards that are in transition, like the seeds that have been planted that haven't yet blossomed into the light of day, kind of thing. And so just because a card is reversed doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong, okay? That said, so we have Fox in reverse, and Fox is kind of the ninja of the animal kingdom, right? He can disappear while you're looking right at him. He's like this master of illusion, right? It's illusion. And he can make you think he's way over there when he's way back there somewhere. Can lay false trails, which is technically why fox hunting has been so popular for so many eons, because they are so hard to find. They are so hard to catch. Because that whole even the saying of crazy like a fox, right? That's so crazy, it just might work. Um, when it comes to thinking outside the box, with fox, there isn't a box. It's just, and so a big part of fox medicine is that ability to learn, like to observe, to learn, like blend into the wallpaper and to observe and to learn through observation. And so, um, you probably have and utilized a very good cloak of invisibility, right? You can disappear in a crowd. You can make someone look right past you. You're in class. You can make the teacher skip right over you and call on the person behind. Um, one of my former teachers, she used to she would clean. There were like a number of different like police stations and stuff. She would do some of the after hours cleaning and vacuuming and that kind of thing. And one of the police stations was kind of far north, and so when she get done, this was like late night, and she get done, she didn't want to drive all the way home, so she would sleep in her van in the parking lot. But she always put an invisibility spell around her so that no one would notice the car and she'd be safe. And she said she never really knew whether it was working or not until the morning that a woman walked full bore into the side of her van and woke her up. So that invisibility is a thing. It works. In reverse, however, a lot of times when fox comes up in reverse, it's the message is it's time to be seen, right? Kind of like I said earlier, it's like everything you've done, every experience has been toward the fruition of who you are right now. And so all the times that you spent in invisibility, observing and learning in that way, has come to a point where it's time to apply that learning, apply those lessons, apply those experiences, and allow yourself to be seen. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be on a soapbox in the town square. Hello, everybody, listen to me. Hello, look at me. It doesn't mean you have to be the center of attention. It just means to allow yourself to be seen. It kind of like, it reminds me of when I did my first vision quest. Many of you know White Buffalo Catwoman has been one of my main guides, and she showed up in that first vision quest. And what she told me was that she was like, I was kind of asking, well, where do I go from here? What's my next step? And she said, it's time for me to teach. And it's like, you have all this experience coming up from where, to where you are now, your entire past, and that will build your confidence. You've learned all these things to this point where you are now. And at the same time, because you know that you have this whole conglomeration of experiences and lessons and learning, you also realize that you've got this infinite space in front of you, time in front of you to continue learning, and that's what keeps you humble. But that it was like out at this balance point where it was time to share my journey. That was like her actual words, that my path, I am meant to, I shouldn't say exact words because now I can't remember exactly how she said it, but basically my path was to be shared. Um, and so there's this little bit of a need for building up courage and confidence to know you've been at this long enough that you do know what you're talking about, that you do know how things work, that you do have an understanding of the behind the scenes workings of the universe, right? Because of all the time you spent in that invisibility. Right? I just got 5555 on the counter. Um, all of that, let me put it this way. By taking it the next step further, allowing yourself to be seen, allowing yourself to share your wisdom, share your experiences, you are making every experience thus far worthwhile. You are giving purpose to even the worst experiences you've had because they're coming out as wisdom to be shared, right? And the thing is, the beauty of it is that you're still a fox. You can still disappear anytime you want to. You still have the cloak of invisibility. It's just a matter of learning when to use it, right? It's like because you know you can disappear at any moment, that gives you the courage to step out of your comfort zone, to step a little bit further than you may otherwise. Um, be a little bit more vulnerable because if you need to, it's like you can just disappear. Um, in fact, a lot of um, fox medicine to me, um, wolf is considered the teacher, but fox is really closely related to wolf. Carry some of those same things, as well as that coyote trickster kind of medicine. And so it's kind of like you're the storyteller, you're the visionary, you are the one to share your vision, to share what you see as a possibility, to give people possibilities, to spin these tales, to give these visuals of what it looks like to be whole, right? And 555 was a message for you, Renee. Awesome. Um, but to be able to say, hey, what's that? Right? And the person looks and then you disappear. And so whatever that lesson is, whatever you have become the lighthouse at that point. And you're drawing that person toward you, but it's not you you're pulling them toward, you're pulling them toward their own realization. You say, hey, what's that over there? And they look and they see another lighthouse over there and you disappear so that they have to take credit for it. They can't just poo-poo it, or they can't um, deify you, put you on a pedestal and mistake the messenger for the message. They have to see and take in and claim their own experience. So don't be afraid to be seen. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And when no one's asking you to put yourself out, like here I am, sacrifice me, whatever, take your best shot. But to trust your abilities, trust your innate intuition and all of the skills, all of the wisdom that you've garnered through the ages to help you be able to help someone else with the experiences you have had. Does that make sense? A lot of people are like, I need to be seen. Ah! Then they disappear for another long while or whatever. All right, Valerie Starseed. It is your turn, going all the way to Ireland. I'm hoping to get there one day. Actually, during the pandemic, I was working online with an Irish shaman to kind of learn more about my inherited ways, shamanic ways. So I love it. I love that. All right. I guess now I can officially say I'm an international sensation because I've got a viewer from Ireland. That is so cool. Anyway, okay. Interesting. All right, so happy holidays, Carly. So card number 4 for Valerie Starseed is, again, Owl in reverse. So reversed owl came up twice, which is going to make the community reading that much more interesting. So give me a second. I want to make sure I don't just repeat the things I already said for card number 1 when owl came up. I want to make sure this is appropriate for your own message. Okay. So I'm getting chills thinking about this. Your message is to stop underestimating yourself and your own abilities. And to claim your sovereignty, right? Owl is an apex predator. She doesn't ask permission. She doesn't have to justify herself to anyone. She sees what needs to be done and she does it. Again, in silence. It's like owl is the only bird who flies in total silence. You can't hear her coming. And so it's and being kind of like she's kind of like nighttime, the nighttime version of eagle, right? Eagle is kind of the king of the sun, king of the sun king. And owl is like the lunar queen. The watcher, the protector of all things in the night, right? And so there's this deeper, earthy, divine feminine thing going on here. To trust, I'm actually I feel like I could cry right now. Um, Trust your ancestors. Trust the vision of your ancestors. Because they are the ones who speak through your instincts, through your intuition, through the synchronicities that happen. And they are guiding you. I just got my guides, they're so funny. I just got a flash of the movie Moana when her father wants her to take over rulership of the island and shows her that there's a tower of stones, and on the very top of the island, like the mountain in the middle of the island, they have a stack of stones, and every new king or queen adds their stone to the top of the stack, making the island that much higher and stuff like that. But she doesn't really want that. She doesn't want to fit into that stereotype and expectations of those that rule, that the structure of that rulership, especially when she finds out that her ancestors were travelers. They were the wayfinders. And it's kind of that same thing. It's like right now, um, your ancestors are calling you to your own ways or your ancestral ways that may differ, that actually differ quite a bit from the modern expectations of your life and those around you. And so it's kind of with Owl is basically giving you permission to do what you need to do for your highest good, for your highest path, which is for the highest path of everyone because we're all connected, right? But to follow those ways and to live in a way that honors those ways without you don't have to explain to anyone, you don't have to announce to anyone that's what you're doing. It's kind of like focus on your own path and take everyone else out of the equation, right? It's kind of like, I haven't talked about this much, but um, my last relationship before the one I'm in now, when things were starting to kind of come to an end, we're starting to feel uncertain, etc. I kept asking my guys, it's like, am I supposed to go? Am I supposed to stay? What am I supposed to do? How is this going to affect her? Blah, blah, blah. What's for the highest good for her? And my guides always told me the same thing. They were like, focus on your own path and let everything else fall into place. And it's the same thing here. It's like, follow your own path, follow your own guidance, focus on what is the most fulfilling path that you can possibly take. And though they may not see it this way, it is also for the highest benefit of everyone around you. Because the world doesn't need more people who are going to toe the line and bow their heads and get into line. The world needs more people living from their passion, living fully, wholly, right? Um, and sometimes, especially when it's counter to the way other people have been raised, or other people's ideas of good and evil or whatever, um, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't owe anyone an explanation. It's like Owl is in and out before anyone ever knows she was even there. It's like you see what needs to be done. You see what the path is for your highest good. You just do it. Your heart is your authority. Your heart is what connects you to Creator, to your ancestors, and it connects you to the heart of every living thing. So if your heart tells you to go in one direction, you can trust that that's the correct direction, because your heart has already taken everyone else into consideration. Your heart has already done the calculations for what is the highest good for everyone. And so, again, that's part of owl medicine, is seeing from the heart, seeing to the heart of the matter, and doing what is right, doing what is appropriate, doing what is just. Um, you are sovereign. You are your own authority. Trust what you see. Trust your ancestors to guide you. And savor the darkness of the womb of the night. Savor that mystery and potential of the night, of the dark, of the womb. And like the moon, realize yourself as bringing light into that darkness. Or not on a new moon, right? Hi, I can't read. I about 25. Welcome. Hi. So I hope that helps, Valerie. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, our fifth card is for Astrius. I got Kira sitting here with me. I have my drum bag, one of my drum bags is made from a mountain lion hide. And it's really funny because she's taken to cozying up and sleeping next to it recently. That's what she's doing right now. I would show you on camera, but my place is kind of a mess at the moment. So, all right, card number 5 for Astrius. Cool. All right, card number 5 for Astrius is Prairie Dog. So, Prairie Dog is about retreat. When Prairie Dog comes up, prairie dogs have a pretty complex society, right? They have these vast underground prairie dog towns with all these different chambers, etc. They're constantly interacting with each other. Um, but they're also very playful and fun-loving, right? And what helps them to be that way is that in every prairie dog town, I'm looking for my cards now that I pulled earlier so I can do the final community reading. Um, in the prairie dog towns, they always have individual chambers where individual prairie dogs can go into to hang out by themselves, away from everyone else, without anyone else's energy or opinions or anything influencing them. Um, and so it's this need to be a productive member of your community. You have to know who you are. Again, like I said earlier, you have to remember your wholeness. And it's only from that place of wholeness, that place of power, that you can be a productive member of society, right? Um, it's similar to that, the airplane thing with, if you put your own air mask on before helping your neighbor, because if you're helping your neighbor and you pass out, then neither of you are going to get help, right? So, it's like, or like when you're helping a drowning person, when someone's drowning, the last thing you do is dive into the water to help them, because they will pull you down with them, which is counterproductive for both of you, right? And so you stand on solid ground and you reach with something or you throw something to them that you can then pull them up to your level. But like Abraham Hicks says, you can never get poor enough to help someone in poverty, and you can never get sick enough to help someone who's ill. You can only help from a place of power. And so there's this balance of personal space and community space, and making sure that you are taking care of your own needs, that again, taking everyone else out of the equation and taking time and space to yourself, so that you can get back in alignment with your own unique vibration, frequency, identity. And another aspect of prairie dog medicine is that there is always prairie dogs who are on duty as sentinels, that their focus is to scan the skies and to scan the horizon, so that the first hint of danger, the first hint of a predator, they send up the call, and all of the prairie dogs scramble for shelter in the prairie dog town. In other words, because it is someone's job to watch out for them, the main community of prairie dogs can just go around their rough and tumble fun games and playfulness because they don't have to be hypervigilant looking for threats. And so you can trust that you are being watched over, that you have protection, and that because you're more in alignment with yourself, that should a threat arrive, you are going to know it. You don't have to be hyper vigilant, watching all the time for something, for the next threat. It's time to stand down, to relax, and to trust that should that vigilance be necessary, that you will know it, that through your intuition, you will get that spidey sense, right? That something's not right. And you will be guided to be in the right place at the right time, whatever that is. And so you can take the world off your shoulders, take a breath, and relax and enjoy yourself. Okay? So that was the 5 individual readings, even though one had 2 cards. I'm still not sure how I'm gonna work that in. But now, with those 5 cards, I have built a whole nother reading that if you were to come to me one-on-one for a full reading, this is the card spread that I use. It's a 5-card spread. And it's time to turn our phone down and see if we can. I don't know why I have trouble. There we go. Can you hear me now? Dang it, dang it. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, someone tried to call me in the middle of all of that, and I think that might be what turned my audio off. But I'm hoping that that whole thing recorded. Mm. Okay, talk about sacrificing. It's like, oh my God, I just went through all that and nobody heard me. Um, oh, I wonder if I bumped it when I was turning the phone down. That's probably what happened. Okay, so I'm gonna post this either tonight or tomorrow on my YouTube channel. I'm hoping that even though the audio wasn't on for you, that perhaps it still recorded the sound. I'm hoping. That was a really good reading. Okay, so nutshell, we started with in the east with turtle and owl reversed, right? East is air, so that's the mental realm. That's where the sun rises, so that's where I like to start. And so we have this sense, or it's your thoughts, it's the mental realm, so your thoughts and your beliefs, right? So there's this sense, this belief that you are flopping, you're like a turtle on your back, you have no foundation, you don't know which direction to go, you're flopping around, you don't trust your own vision, you don't trust your own heart, but it's that sense of inadequacy that begins your hero's journey, right? Because that sense of inadequacy, that sense of incompleteness, you wouldn't know it as incompleteness unless part of you knew what it felt like to be complete. And so it's in that sense of wholeness within you that's actually calling you to this hero's journey, where in the South, the place of fire, passion, and action, you're being asked to sacrifice these thoughts and beliefs of smallness, of inadequacy, to move into your power, to sacrifice anything that doesn't support who you actually are, right? And then moving, I'm going to just do kind of a nutshell version of this. Then in the West, the place of water, with the fox in reverse, it's like emotionally caught. Fox is the master of illusion. Fox can make you think he's way over there when he's actually way back there, right? He can play with illusion, he can play with beliefs. And so in reverse, it can be caught in your own illusions. It's like being caught in the potential and the hope of the world without stepping into that. It's like believing, saying that you believe you're safe, but not having enough faith in yourself to actually step beyond your own walls into, without applying it to physical reality. And so, these ones being on the opposite sides kind of work together. And so there's this feeling of inadequacy, like because of your belief system, because you were led to believe you're a peon and everyone else is more important than you. And so it's dealing with this illusion of that false self, right? And coming into the north, where we have owl in reverse again, kind of that, it's like owl is the one who is flying us around the circle to come back to the north, which is earth, so that's the physical realm. And And so we started with owl and we come full circle to owl in the north. And so north is kind of like how you present to the world. And so it's kind of like, um, owl is opposite north, opposite south, earth opposite the fire. So this is the action that's taken place. This is what's where all the energy is right now, in that sacrifice, in that letting go of the illusion of what you thought you were, who you believed you were, to, and these other three cards are the transition. These are the things that are in transition, the feelings of inadequacy and incompleteness, to come to that understanding of being complete, of being the master of the illusion rather than being caught in the illusion, and to being your sovereign self, apex predator, who doesn't owe explanation or as needs not ask permission, just sees what needs, sees what she needs to fulfill herself, knowing that in her fulfillment is the fulfillment of everybody, right? And then in the center, the hub of the wheel, we have Prairie Dog, who, there's like the stable wholeness of Turtle, right? And Prairie Dog is kind of the inhale and exhale of that wholeness, like the yin yang. It's like half of the dark and half of the light. It's like that dark of solitude, that dark of going into those chambers, to be alone, to be in solitude, to remember who they are, and then to come into the light of day, the light of community, to be a more powerful and productive force in that society, and to be your playful self, to let go of the need to protect and to, be hyper vigilant, right? Like you didn't hear me say earlier, like antelope is knowing when to leap in and when to leap out, but like the bird who lands on a branch that starts to give way, the bird continues to sing because she has wings. Her wellness is not dependent on the branch she landed on. Your wellness is not dependent on the world around you. Your wellness is dependent on who you are. And so you don't have to be hyper vigilant to the. I disappeared for a moment, but I'm back. Weird stuff going on. Okay, I'll try to finish this up. But so it's like the hub of the wheel, the center card is Prairie Dog, and it's reminding you to be your playful self, that life is meant to be enjoyed, that you are meant to play, that we are supposed to, it's like we're all in this together and we support each other, that, diversity is a beautiful thing. IDIC, infinite diversity and infinite combinations, as the Vulcans say. And it's that celebration of your own uniqueness and your foundation in who you actually are that gives you the breadth to expand and to hold the diversity of other people without being threatened, without being having identity crisis and existential crises and having to lash out or whatever. So that is our community. I'm hoping that the community reading, that just because the audio wasn't on, I'm hoping that maybe it's still recorded. I don't know. I'll have to check that out. But I hope that is helpful. I'm kind of bummed about having not been silenced. And then we were just talking about owl being silence. That's really interesting. I'm gonna have to sit with that, find out why that happened. But anyway, that's time. That's our time tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for your presence, of being with me, taking a couple hours out of your time to spend with me. That means the world to me. Um, Please share my video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I have over 6 years of material on my YouTube channel of these readings, of ceremonies, different things that are there as a free resource for you. If you ever need guidance, it's like you can pull up one of my former readings, choose a number of a card, and just get whatever guidance you need. It's still there, and it is, I promise it will be exactly what you need. Thank you, Astrius. You have a wonderful night too. Stay tuned to see. I'm not sure what's going to happen next week. I'm going to be in Minnesota visiting my family for Christmas, and when you're traveling, when you're in someone else's home, you never know what's going to happen, and so I may or may not be able to do this video next Monday, but I think I'm going to try. I'll try to post something. Maybe I'll just do a quick, like, 3-card reading or something for everybody, or during the day, and just post it or something. But then I plan on being back the following week, and please share my video. That helps me. The more the merrier. If you enjoyed this, please share the love. If you got something from tonight and you wish to reciprocate in a different way, I also have my Venmo link in the description. Whatever you wish to give to me to support your friendly neighborhood shaman, or to reciprocate good vibes you got or good messages you got, I am, how do I say? I have a hard time receiving things as well. But I receive whatever you wish to give me with tremendous gratitude and love in my heart, because that helps me to do my job. This is my job. This is my day job. So whatever comes in through whatever channels, it helps me to continue my work. And so I thank you for that. And I thank you for your presence again. And I will see you soon. I don't know when, I don't know how, but sooner or later I will see you again. And so thank you for joining me. Know until I see you again that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas, whatever festival of lights you celebrate in this time. And even if you don't, happy holidays. Go shining. That's the point. All right. I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.